This is Johnny Nelson and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Right, so in this video, we're going to talk about Mark Breland's comments on Anthony Joshua. And the only reason I'm doing it is because that seems to be the theme in the comment section of the previous videos, which is Mark Breland. He done an exclusive interview with Tyson Fury and Tunde Ajayi here on YouTube at their platform of Stamina for Sale. Go check it out, link in the description box. Now, we don't need to talk about the whole Wilder situation, all that kind of thing. I've pretty much done that now, okay? Hopefully I won't have to go back to it. Unless, of course, Wilder responds to Mark Breland and I agree or don't agree with what Wilder says. I don't know. Anyway, on this one, Mark Breland talks about Anthony Joshua, basically saying Anthony Joshua's not very good. He doesn't have a jab, all that kind of stuff. Tyson Fury will take him to school, is what it is. Now, as far as him saying Tyson Fury will take Anthony Joshua to school, it's his opinion. He's entitled to that opinion, okay? Whether you're a Fury fan, whether you're a Joshua fan, whether you like both of them, whether you dislike both of them. Opinion is opinion. And the only way we're going to find out is on fight night, isn't it? That's the only way we're going to find out. But that's that side. Now, when he says Anthony Joshua has no jab, and he would be Anthony Joshua, firstly, unless I'm mistaken, I don't believe that he's talking about, as in Mark Breland could put on a pair of boxing gloves now, get in the ring with Anthony Joshua and beat him. I don't think he's talking about now. I'm thinking that Mark Breland is talking about if he was in his prime and if he was a heavyweight. That's what he would do. Again, that's his opinion. That's how he thinks that he'd beat Anthony Joshua. Beat him to the jab. Now, to say that Anthony Joshua has no jab, well, that's not true at all. I understand what it is he's talking about. He didn't really use the straight jab. He didn't really use that. He uses the jab come hook. That's what he does. That's what Anthony Joshua does. So he does have a jab. Look at his amateur career. He does have it, okay? When he's fighting Kubrat Pulev, you could see it at the best of times. Joshua is becoming an all-round fighter. Like Joshua, don't like Joshua. He's becoming an all-rounded fighter. Does he have vulnerabilities? Of course he does. Name me one fighter that doesn't. Every fighter's got vulnerabilities, okay? But Joshua has never lost a battle of the jab. It's never happened. And he's been fighting good opposition. Some people don't like to admit that, but he's been fighting very, very good opposition. Very good opposition. Undefeated Dillian White, undefeated Charles Martin, undefeated Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, who'd only ever lost to Vladimir Klitschko before, and so forth. Vladimir Klitschko, of course, himself. Arguably his last fight with Kubrat Pulev, who was Kubrat Pulev known for having one of the best jabs in the business. Joshua took that away and jabbed his head off at times. But again, in that fight, he's shown it all round where he was boxing, moving, and getting on the inside and having a bit of a tear up when he's throwing his uppercuts. People say that he fought scared against Kubrat Pulev. Did you not watch the part where he was up close several times, throwing body shots, uppercuts, all that kind of stuff? You didn't see that? Anyway, it is what it is. Joshua's one of these kind of guys that he's never going to get a unanimous vote. Okay, it's never really going to happen. But Joshua has never lost to the jab. Never really lost to it. The only rounds that Joshua has ever really lost was maybe round 2 when he fought Dillian White. The first 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds against Povetkin. And of course, a bunch of rounds when he fought Vladimir Klitschko. Again, all of these were because he got hurt. When he got hurt, it was a case of, right, I'm going to try and ride this out until I can recuperate. And once he recuperated, he was back on top. Okay? But Joshua does have a jab. He does have a jab. I understand, as I said before, what Mark Breland is talking about. He's talking about that long, straight, stinging jab. Because there are a lot of fighters nowadays, just throw the left, the jab, if they're an orthodox fighter, just throw the left, just because they feel they should. But it's got no meaning. When you look at, say, a Lennox Lewis, he threw the jab with intent. He threw the jab to hurt you. Does Joshua do that? Not really. But Joshua can knock you out with both hands. Both hands. Joshua does have a jab. He's never lost a fight for the jab. Plenty of people have tried using the jab on him. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And to go back to the point of Mark Breland saying that's how he would beat him, that's how he would, well, that's his opinion. His opinion is to beat Anthony Joshua, either you've got to land a good enough shot like Andy Ruiz Jr. did, or You jab him to death. But many fighters have tried to jab him to death and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. These are the kind of things that Joshua works on. When Joshua does a lot of sparring and he brings in sparring partners, a lot of the things that he does, it's not just a fight. It's technical sparring. Some people criticize technical sparring, but that's what he does, technical sparring, where his opponent will predominantly throw jabs. It's his job, slip, move them, counter them, all that kind of stuff. Again, those who try to jab Anthony Joshua's head off, Anthony Joshua is one of the best in the business of counter-punching. So when you throw that jab, you're leaving yourself open for the counter from Anthony Joshua. That's how Joshua hurts a lot of people, with the counter-punching. And to say he doesn't have a jab, look at how he finished off Kubrat Pulev. He threw the jab, come hook. As I said, it is a jab, come hook. And then he followed up with a right. Deontay Wilder, who Mark Breland was with since Wilder's debut, so 12 years ago now, Wilder does actually have a good jab. But again, he was the one that never really threw a jab with intent. He would flick it as a rangefinder and then come in with a right. So you don't always need the jab, but at the same time, Joshua does have a jab. Fury, does he really have a jab? Not really. He uses the flick jab. That's not a jab, that's a flick. He uses the flick jab. He's always done that. He's been doing that for a long, long time. People are highlighting it because of the Wilder fights, but it's a flick jab. So who in the heavyweight division has a very good jab? Kubrat Pulev has a very good jab. Dillian Whyte has a very good jab. Povetkin has a very good jab. But even Povetkin at times is usually hook. At the end of the day, it's Mark Breland's opinion. Is he going to get in the ring with Joshua and fight him and prove it? Of course not. Is he talking about him putting on gloves today, getting in the ring and fighting Anthony Joshua? I don't think he is, but if he is, well, there's only be one result in that fight, isn't there? If Mark Breland really thinks that, okay, we'll get in the ring and have a spar with Joshua and prove it. Of course, I'm joking. That ain't really going to happen. Of course not. But the point is, Joshua does have a jab, but does he use it? The jab in the purest sense of a jab? No, not really. It's a jab come hook. And nothing wrong with it. A lot of fighters use that. A lot of fighters do. Anyway, that's my thoughts. That's Mark Breland's thoughts. You drop me yours in the comment section below. Click a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed. And I'll catch you all in the next video.